Havasu by about noon. Spend all day Sunday with her. I've got a dentist appointment. Get this, 7 o'clock in the morning. This guy fucking works hard. Anyway, so I got a dentist appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we're Monday morning, and then we're going to get in the car and go from there and just go home. So my mom's, like at a place now where it's very, very difficult to have any kind of conversation.
I know, it's sad.
Yeah.
I actually get free dental now because of the new
yes.
thing. So I went to the dentist, and it was very, very professional. I've had really good teeth all my life.
Glad it was professional. He didn't grope you, or is that what you're trying to say?
Here's a guy I've been to a dentist 5 times in my life.
Really?
So it's still fucked up. Even when they took X-rays, I gagged once.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that shit.
Yes. Yeah.
But I've only had one cavity my whole life.
Wow.
And years
good
later,
genes.
Yeah, and years later, it needed a crown. And I didn't have the money so I went to Las Vegas Dental.
Fucking pull it, just yank it out.
And they said, well, we can pull it. I go, that's in the back. Nobody's going to ever see it.
Right.
So now they saw that, and they go, well, we can put one in. I go, you can put one in? She goes, it's a lot easier putting them in than taking them out. So they're going to put one in. I can't believe that. They're going
to put a in? Oh, good.
And
that's what I'm basically having done. I mean, see these teeth? See these? These are the only ones I have. All the rest of them are gone.
Yeah.
These are the only ones.
I know, man. So
every time I make thumbnails for the show, I can't use him smiling real big because there's holes in the back of his mouth.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of work
well, especially when I laugh too. So you can't make me laugh today.
Yeah, right. Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
So
so I'm going to. Yeah, I've already gone.
I've
got all the posts in and stuff. They've made the teeth, so now they just got to take the teeth and put them on top.
Unbelievable.
And and now I can chew gum again, and
Well, Indonesia, when I was a flight attendant, they have a manual, and when you fly to these other countries, they have all these rules. You know what the rule is in Singapore? If you have 8 ounces of any narcotics on you, you'll be quickly tried and hung. They don't mess around. So in Indonesia, same thing. You can't smoke any pot, so I'm going to clean up for a month.
When are you going to Indonesia, and why is that?
After you.
Do you know anybody there?
Yes.
Okay.
And you've known him. He knows who you are.
Okay.
He was his name is Richard Mao. He was a flight attendant with me for Braniff.
Okay.
And then he got me on with the Hawaii Express when I flew from LAX to Hawaii, which was a perfect job for me when I first started acting because I was only gone 7 days a month is when I worked. I'd go from LAX to Hawaii, an hour layover, and fly right back. So it's 12 hours in the air almost. It's a long day. But I only had to work 7 days a month. And people that go to Hawaii, they're so excited they're going to Hawaii, and you pick them up 9 days later, and they're sunburned, and they sleep all the way home.
Yeah, okay.
So it was a really good gig. Anyway, he was a flight attendant with me. He's the guy that brought me to Guam when I did the stand-up comedy. You remember that?
Yeah, you doing comedy in Guam,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, yes, I remember it, but I've forgotten how just bizarre that sounds.
Yeah.
Well,
he goes,
you're not really a stand-up comic.
So he calls me up and says, "You're funny. Hire these 2 comedians, and I'll fly you guys over." What's a 14, 15-hour flight? It's a bitch. Other than that, and we're on the plane. People going, "Hey, how you doing?" I go, "Hey, what a friendly flight." I go, "Why are these people so friendly?" He goes, "Oh, your picture's all over Guam." So they had us all, people knew who we were before we got there.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah, so we get there, and it's a territory. The senator can't vote. He has to sit in, right? And I get there, and there's a $500 dinner plate, and I'm checking out where I'm going to be doing the hosting of this stand-up comedy.
Right. So you're hosting, bringing in comedy.
But I'm also doing...
You're meant to be funny when you're hosting.
I did a lot of comedy, which made me learn how to do stand-up, and I did quite a bit. I was doing whatever. I wrote a lot of stuff that was working. And I remember the really good comedian, when I got done, he goes, "You got balls, man." He goes, "They were laughing, but you're a little too close to the mic." And the next time I went up, I did 4 shows in a row. You learn a lot by doing in front of a live audience. And I learned to get the microphone a little farther away. And it was really an interesting experience, to be honest with you. And you write differently.
So, when you're in Indonesia, where are you?
Okay, Jakarta. He's been there. He's opened 40 hotels. It's run by 6 dragons, they call them. Their biggest export is aluminum. It's 85% Muslim. They pray 5 times a day. You can have 4 wives.
Well,
it's a trip. And he plays golf every day. He's a consultant to 2 of the biggest Japanese firms in the business now. He's been there for 20 years.
And everything's dirt cheap, too. Because,
yeah,
right?
He said, I'll have a harem for $60 a month.
You want it? Do you want a harem?
I need a harem. This time in my life.
How is it like? Is 2 considered a harem or 4?
More than 2, I'd say.
Yeah, like half dozen or something.
6. I'm going with 6. You know, when I was in the Philippines, a couple of them went home. I didn't know how to handle it. You know, which one do I go to? And this one I didn't even like. And all of a sudden, I liked her better. It's too weird. But it's. And we're going to play golf the day I get there. It takes 27 hours to get there. You lose a day. You gain a day coming back.
When is daylight savings?
It's on Monday.
It's coming up.
Monday. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway,
when are you leaving?
So I'm leaving here to go to La Jolla. He gets married Friday night. Friday morning, he's got me playing golf someplace with somebody. I don't know who. He gets married Friday. Saturday is a Breeders' Cup, my favorite day.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going down to Del Mar to see my brother for that. Drive back on Sunday to David's, leave my car. He's driving into LAX on Monday morning. It's 8, and I take off at 10. And I go to 27 hours later, I find myself in Taipei first, and then Jakarta. So it should be a trip. And I tried to get one.
Mel Gibson and Sigourney Weaver, isn't that movie? What? Jakarta, the movie they did, The Year of Living Dangerously.
Is that right?
Like, yeah, the government's being overthrown at the same time as they're there. That's where you're headed, Jimmy.
Oh, boy.
I thought it was Jakarta.
Well, at least the guy I got with, he's got his own driver. You know, he doesn't have,
I know, you can go over to those places and live like a king. Because,
I'll see what it's like. And so I was going to I didn't know when I was going to come back, so I got a one-way ticket, and I figured I'll go when I want to come back, you know. Well, I found out if you land in Indonesia and you don't have a return ticket to get out of there, they don't let you in. So last night I had to make another purchase to get another ticket to come from Jakarta back to L.A. There's some new rules. I didn't know that one. That would have been a bitch, being in there and fly 27 hours and be stuck at the airport until
Donald Trump liked that idea.
Yeah, tariff.
Yeah, but one-way ticket into America, you can't fucking come.
Yeah, right. So anyway, that's what I have planned on doing.
How long are you staying?
I don't know. Well, now my return ticket's.
He's never going to come home.
I'm coming back on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? Why? Are you still in Vegas? Are you still at the same place in Vegas?
Yeah, I haven't moved there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be. Let's see. I think I get there the 5th. I play golf on the 6th. I leave the 3rd. It's funny.
What's your handicap these days?
I'm not. I can hit a driver, but boy, my short game is pitiful. But anyway, we're playing in a tournament the day after I show up. So 27 hours, boom, I'm going to be in a golf tournament. That'll be interesting. And I'm not going to bring my clubs. He said he had an extra set. Yep. I'll have to worry about mine getting on the plane or whatever.
Yeah, whenever I see somebody traveling, with I'm traveling a lot, it's just like I see a guy like dragging his clubs around with him. I'm just like, you fucking out of your fucking mind, man.
They're golfers, you know.
I know.
Their clubs are like their car.
I guess so, yeah.
But I don't care. If you can play golf, you can play with anything, really.
Right.
And I'm not playing that good, so it doesn't matter. But I'm looking forward to getting my mind. I have some people interested in finally producing The Birth of Pride.
Right.
So I'm trying to get the budget on that. An interesting story that I might put in there, I was going to talk to you about it. It's pretty interesting. My younger brother's 15 years younger than I am. And he went in the Marines. My older brother went in right after me and became an officer and then became an FBI agent for 20 years.
Yes.
My younger brother's 15 years younger. When I was in boot camp, he grabbed me like, "Hi, Timmy." I'd never heard him talk. First time I ever heard him talk, right?
Right.
16, I think he went into, it's called the Devil Dogs. It's like they show you what it's going to be like to be a Marine for 7 to 10 days. Right?
Yeah.
So he knew his older brothers were in the Marines. He knew from being in the Devil Pups what the Marine Corps was all about, right? He told me this story. And so in my screenplay, I have a few places where it shows a guy from Texas waving goodbye to his sister in the truck, the cornfields. We have a long-haired hippie guy from San Francisco smoking pot, showing what they were like, just a little brief thing before they go into boot camp, right?
Yeah.
He gets on the plane. This is all a true story he told me, which I couldn't believe. He gets on the plane and he orders a Jack Daniels. And the girl says, he goes, "I'm going to boot camp. I want to get fucked up." She gives him a Jack Daniels. She goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "Pat Colceri." He goes, "I know your brother Tim and your sister Judy. I'm Mills Brown's sister, one of my best friends I grew up with, and she's the flight attendant on the Southwest." So she comes back and dumps 6 Jack Daniels in his lap. He chugs these Jack Daniels. He gets off the plane. You know, if you're in the air drinking, you're getting doubly fucked up.
Yeah.
He gets off the plane completely fucked up.
I'm not sure about that, but if you're on the plane, you get doubly
well, whatever.
Up,
he 5 or 6
he was fucked
of those.
up. Okay, I got it.
He gets on the plane off the bus, right? And the guy says, "All right, you're going to go to, do you understand?" And he's in the back of the bus going, "Sir, yes, sir." Really yelling, you know?
Yeah.
And the bus driver goes, "Oh, they're going to like you."
Yeah.
He gets in boot camp, and they're in the fog, and they're marching right out of the, brand new boots. And what's he start doing? He starts whistling. And the drill instructor goes, "Battalion, hold, who the fuck is whistling?" And nobody says anything. They take off again. He starts whistling again. Again, who the fuck? And nobody's telling on him, and they can't see who it is because it's foggy. It's really foggy.
Yeah, okay.
He did that 3 times. He stopped the platoon 3 times. So he was so loud, they gave him the guide. The guide is the guy that has to carry the flag around.
Yeah, okay.
And if he ends up being the last guy, he ends up winning dress blues. And the only way you can win dress blues is if you're a guide, squad leader, or a house mouse. And I was a house mouse. I was a little guy, so I had to make the bed for the drill instructor in the morning, which you don't want to be in the morning. He's just like a bear. He just kind of slaps at you. "What are you looking at?" So you don't want to be a house mouse. But you can get dress blues if you are a house mouse. Anyway, he only lasted a week as a guide. But 30 years later, he got a phone call from some sergeant major going, "I was in boot camp with you, man, and you were crazy." Can you imagine?
He only lasted what?
A week as the guide. He ended up being a Learjet mechanic. And, he ended up becoming a chief, what do they call those? Crew chief for a helicopter squadron.
Yeah.
And they had a thing called Sears. It's if you got shot down, they practice practice torturing you.
Yes, yeah.
So I thought that'd be funny in a resume. "I see you were in Sears. You've been tortured. You're hired."
Right, yeah.
You can you can handle anything. This guy's been tortured. Yeah. When do you put that on your resume that you've been tortured,
I don't know, but you remember my line. If I ever got captured, they'd have to torture me to shut up.
They'd have to torture me to shut up. It's enough. That's pretty good. Anyway, he ended up hiring a bunch of Marines. He owned a company for a long time. He's a crazy guy. I can't believe that my mother had 5 boys and 3 of them Marines.
This is your younger brother?
Yeah.
Where does he live now?
So he ended up. This is interesting. He ends up
Indonesia.
No, ends up. You can tell he's been doing this a while. He's got all these little quips now that he pops in.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten so much better with Indonesia.
From the first time you were in, he's learning.
You
talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking about me?
So anyway, he ends up getting out of the Marines, and he ends up getting Scottsdale Airport Hangar 11, and he had Campbell Soup as one of his clients. And I went down in the hangar, and there must have been 50 cars down there from him. Every type of car you can imagine was down there. Okay. And if you own all those cars, where are you going to put them that are safe? A hangar at the airport would be a good spot. So he hired nothing but Marines. He had a $2.2 million house. He had a really good business.
This is your little brother?
Yeah. He ends up selling it, buys a ranch in Kingman.
In Kingman?
In Kingman.
Oh, shit. What a shithole.
And lived off the grid for 2 years.
Living off the grid in Kingman?
Yeah.
Outside of Kingman?
And he crashed a 4-wheeler. They had to fly him in a helicopter to the Sunrise Hospital. He was in the hospital for 12 days. I saw him during the pandemic. And finally he gets out, he survived, and he goes, I can't live like an Indian anymore. So he got a job. He saved some guy $2 million on an aircraft. And the guy said, every time you need a job, I'll hire you. So he hired him, and the guy was building a dam in Colorado, Fort Collins. So he's been there for about 2 or 3 years now, building this dam. And they finally built the dam, and now they're going to send him to Virginia for 1 year, and then he's going to probably retire. I think he'll be done. That's his life.
You were talking about the military, and you told the story last time when you were on the pod the first time, but we lost the footage. But I wanted you to tell the story again of the time you stepped on a landmine in Vietnam.
Okay. In Vietnam, it was really this explain some stuff before we get there. They teach you that Da Nang is called Air Force. It's called Rocket Alley. When you fly into Da Nang, they know you're flying in there, so they rocket that area, right?
Yeah.
So they telling you all these stories of it. You might have to get off the plane and run to a ditch, right?
Yeah.
I'm got orders to go to Vietnam, and I'm thinking, man, I got to be ready. And they gave me a pamphlet that said, "Know Your Enemy." It talked about communism and what the Vietnamese were like. And you're reading this book, this little pamphlet about your enemy, how you're going to deal with this enemy, you know. And so that's gets your brain going. I'm thinking, I got there like 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, and I'm thinking, I got to run into a where's my rifle? You know, I want to be ready to go. And I see the sky is all red. And I'm going, is that from the sun or is that from the war?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It was from the sun, but my mind was thinking.
Sure.
So now I'm walking on this white sand, and they have these boardwalks that you can walk on.
Yeah.
And about, I swear, 40 yards to the left of the boardwalk, a bomb goes, and nobody acts like it's nothing. And I saw the bomb go off, and I thought, that was weird. I walked about another 20 yards.
This is artillery shells coming in?
Yeah. And they're blowing up, and everybody's walking around like it's nothing. So I look at it and go, hey, is that a bomb that went over there? The guy said, what are you, a newbie? What does that mean? Yeah, I just got it. Yeah, you're a newbie. And he walked away.
Yeah.
And another bomb, boom. And I go, wait a minute.
Right.
What's with these bombs going on? Those are ours. They're protecting our perimeter. They're shooting over our head from the battleship.
Oh. That's
right.
That's why everybody's so casual.
I started thinking about golf. You know, I didn't quite catch it. A little fat.
You're right.
Comes a little short. Boom. Right on me. That's all I kept thinking, you know. So for 5 days, I was in Okinawa. Before I went to Vietnam, I had to sleep. It was such a transit facility that they had planes coming and going. So many from Vietnam at that time. This is 1969, 70.
Yeah, that was the shit.
That we had no place for me to sleep. So waiting for my orders, I had to sleep literally on asphalt with a curb and my duffel bag. For 5 days, I slept on the street. I didn't care where they sent me. But for some reason, me and God had a deal. I was not going to Vietnam. I did not think I was going to go to Vietnam. I thought I could do my job as Okinawa, right? And so I got these orders, said, Da Nang. I go, where's that at? Da Nang, Vietnam, buddy.
Da Nang. I've heard that.
Is that an island in Okinawa? No, Vietnam, buddy. So now I'm in Vietnam, you know, and I just wanted a bed after 5 days of sleeping in the street, and I had a cot or a bed, and they go, this guy works from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. You work from 6 at night to 6 in the morning, and you share that bed. I go, oh boy, and I'm sharing a bed with this guy, but I'm never in the bed at the same time as him. So from 6 o'clock to 6 in the morning, I worked every day. Every day was a Monday. There was never a Saturday, Friday off, you know. So they give you, after 6 months, they give you R&R, where you can go anywhere you want for I think 10 days, something like that. Maybe it's a week. I can't remember. And I went to Australia. And every time I'd read the Stars and Stripes, you see the war was getting better. We weren't losing as many, not as many hurt, not many injuries, whatever. It was going down. So they let the Marine Corps go outside the Force Logistics Command base into Da Nang and do whatever they want, you know. Yeah. We had more casualties in 3 days
in Da
Nang that they wouldn't let us go out there anymore.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. I was out in Da Nang, get a picture next to this rickshaw, let's play pool, let's have a beer. You forget you're in a war zone.
Right.
And they teach you that when you come across a change of land, change of, what do they call it?
Terrain.
Change of terrain, look for booby traps. Booby traps were a big thing in Vietnam.
Okay.
They had these punji stakes, you know what they are?
Yep.
They would piss on them, and you stick in your leg, and your injuries would take forever to heal over there.
Yep.
They had bugs, cockroaches that big, and rats that looked like cats, and everything was weird over there for healing.
Yeah.
So I was walking, and we had been drinking, and I wasn't paying attention. I should have known terrain changed. And right when I saw it, my Marine buddy touched me like it went, Colceri! And he went like that to stop me, and my foot continued on and landed on a bouncing Betty, which is called a Claymore mine at the time, and it started buzzing like a rubber band underneath my foot. Bzzz, and you could feel the buzzing underneath my foot. And then from here literally just on the other side of that wall, like 20 feet, 30 feet, 2 kids went, "G.I. gonna die, G.I. gonna die." Now, that's not what you want to hear when you're standing on a Claymore mine,
No.
So I immediately thought, those little fuckers, I don't know if I was going to kill them, but I wanted them to think I was going to kill them.
Yeah.
So I took my rifle and pushed from single shot to automatic. Get them real quick,
Yeah.
And they saw me make that move, and when I looked back up, their eyes went, and one of them went running that way, and one of them went running that way.
Right.
So whether I was going to do it or not, they thought I was.
Right.
And that was good enough for me.
Yeah.
So now everybody's now in a big circle way far from me because I'm on this fucking mine. And the guy goes, "I'm an engineer. I think I can take this apart." And so I'm standing on there waiting
This
for
is the
same Marine that tried to stop me.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So he now is crawling underneath me and digging around this mine. And he gets over there and he goes, "Okay, I want you to," this is how smart he was. He goes, "They normally blow a little left. So I want you to throw me your rifle and dive to the right." So my mind kept thinking, as soon as I throw the rifle, I'm going to blow. So for some reason, you think that way. So I thought, throw and blow, throw and jump. So I threw it and rolled, and nothing happened.
So it didn't go off.
No one go off.
Yeah.
But saying that, what are the odds that that's going to happen? 2 hours later, that shows you, I'm one of those guys, when I have a bad day, I have a bad day, So we opened it, there was 3 of us Marines. We opened the gate, and we went through this, and we saw this Papa Sanito. They're always sitting down, squatting down.
Yes.
All of a sudden, this German Shepherd went, and it wasn't like, get out of here. It started chasing after us. So the first Marine went out, the second Marine went out, and I was the third Marine. And the second Marine thought he was the last Marine, and he closed the door. And as soon as he closed the door, I turned around, and this German Shepherd was in flight, and it was coming at me, and I went like this, and it latched onto my elbow. And I couldn't get this thing off my elbow. It was on me pretty good. So the Marine opened the gate, and he kicked this dog in the side, the ribs, probably 6 or 7 hard kicks with his boot.
He's got a hold of you the whole time?
Yeah, he wouldn't let go of my arm.
Wow.
So now my arm's all bloody, and I'm freaked out from the whole day,
Yeah.
And I see it. Do you know what a warrant officer is?
A warrant officer?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Okay, a warrant officer is the most respected officer in the Marine Corps because he goes through all the ranks. He was a private, a PFC, a lance corporal, a corporal, a sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, officer eventually, right?
Yeah.
And he has a little red, you know how the silver bar is for a lieutenant? He has a red, silver, and red. They stand out.
Okay.
And they're very well respected from the enlisted people because they know that they were enlisted people at one time too.
Yes.
So I see this warrant officer, and he says, "What happened to you, Marine?" I said, "I get bit by this dog."
Right.
He goes, "Well, you're going to have to get rabies shots." And I'm thinking, oh, boy. I never did get him. I said, "Yes, sir, I will." And I never did get rabies shots.
Oh, you never got him?
No. They had another shot I didn't take either. It was called a G shot. It's supposed to thin your blood because it's so hot over there.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to hurt like hell. So I was in supply. So I would go to the medic, which was a Navy medic, corpsman. And I'd say, you got to give me this shot. You need some new boots, don't you? I'll give you the new boots if you don't. Just write down you gave me the shot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was doing like MASH, I worked 6 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. All the heavies were sleeping. So I had my Vietnamese, I had 21 of them work for me. 21 Vietnamese, 3 lance corporals, and 8 Korean forklift drivers that I was in charge of at 19 years old. In charge of all that we packed computers to foot powder to rifles to boots. Bob wire for 3 months was a bitch. Yeah. So I'm on a 6 foot tall computer, 1970. I don't know why they were that big then, but I was on when you make styrofoam, it's an A solution and a B solution, and it chemically reacts and makes styrofoam.
Okay.
So once you start pouring that, you can't stop. And I look over and I see 4 Jeeps coming. And they see the red flags on the Jeep. Red flag, 1 star. Another red flag, 2 star. Another 4-star general. Commandant of the Marine Corps starts walking up towards me, comes up the ladder, and I'm already pouring. And he goes, "Carry on, Marine." I went, "Yes, sir." So I had a conversation.
4-star general?
Yeah, so I had a conversation with a 4-star general.
Yeah.
Not very long conversation. But my captain thought I did really great because I did my job without screwing up, or stopping and saluting or whatever. I just continued working, and he loved me, my captain. So I spent 13 months in Da Nang, and I had a lot of responsibility. I only had to fight like 3 or 4 times, and a lot of sniper fire came in at nighttime when I was working. I go take a shit, and I couldn't come out of the shitter. I wake up in the morning, and a guy, go in the bathroom and go, "Oh, you sniper?" I go, "Yeah." I had to lay there all night long because he knew I was in there.
Wow.
That was fucked up. Anyway, I got out on my 20th birthday, and I started thinking, we always talk about our wonderful friendship we talked about last time, which was great, but we never really talk about how we got started in this business, And I remember, I don't know if in all the podcasts that you've done, if you've ever talked about how you did it, which was interesting. I love how your dad threw you out of the house, and when you were like 18, said you better get a job, and you went to California, and I think your first commercial you got, there was another guy who had the same name as you, and you.
Yes.
Did you tell that story yet?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it's a great story. I mean, people want to know how you got started.
Well, this is I had been in Los Angeles probably. One of the big things about being an actor back then, and probably still now, is getting into the union.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let you in front of the camera unless you were in the union, and you couldn't get into the union unless you were in the camera. So it was kind of this like catch-22.
It's changed so much since then. Now they can do 3 extras, and it's a SAG film. They're letting anybody in. But if they did decide to hire you and you were non-union, I think they got fined like $5,000 or something.
Yeah. They want to make sure.
You weren't in the union. You've been there about a year.
Yeah.
And from Lake Havasu, your dad said you got to get a job or something, and you decided to go to California?
Well, yeah. I mean, I went to college.
Did you go to
flunked out of
Tucson? U of A?
U of A. On a drama scholarship, actually.
I forgot about that.
Which was,
you did some play that made you get that, right?
What?
You did a play.
I did a play in high
Lake
school.
Havasu.
And by the way, I was no drama guy. I happened to be in a play, and the dean of the drama department at the University of Arizona happened to be in town and watched the play, and I think he was gay for one thing.
Yeah.
Pretty little boy on stage.
Yeah.
Give me a scholarship to go. And it was books and tuition. And at that time, that is not, that's, when you go to college, you spend most of your money on housing and eating and stuff like that. Books and tuition was like, I don't know, $4,000 a semester, so something like that. But it gave me a direction. So
tell that story about when you got.
So I went to the University of Arizona, and I went there, joined a fraternity, partied, women, girls, partied. Sigma Nu.
You were Sigma Nu.
Sigma Nu.
Wow. I was an SAE at Arizona State.
Well, there you go.
Very interesting. They were both.
So I made it through the first semester because I only had like PE and acting class, how to learn to build a stage, and like the history of theater, like that. I kind of seed my way through that, just like I seed my way through high school, kind of seed my way through the first semester. And I'm not sure if I went to all the classes. And second semester, I started getting some real courses, like English and fucking, like I had to take some real courses that were not. And I basically was like, I blew it. I blew it. I was just partying.
What made you go to California then?
Well, I went back to Lake Havasu. You remember my dad's a lawyer.
Yeah.
My brother was in law school at the time. We come from my grandfather's a lawyer.
Wow.
My mother.
That was a pitcher for the Cubs too.
My mother was a nurse practitioner, so she's in between a nurse and a doctor. So I come from a family of so here comes the dropout from the University of Arizona, and I came back and I was a little and I basically said I didn't like the drama department, and they didn't let the freshmen on stage, which they didn't, and it was just a bizarre situation, and but I started just kind of hanging out in Havasu with my friends. I'd go over to one of my friends' place where he was, and we'd smoke pot, listen to music, and laugh, and just have a good time. I was doing that 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 3, 4 months, something like that. One day I was laying in bed. It's like 11:30, in the morning. I was just laying in bed from night. We're drinking beers and shit like that. Yeah. Like Havasu. I don't know, like, whatever. Just fucking around. So anyway, my dad grabbed me and fucking yanked me out of bed and said, "Listen, motherfucker." No, he didn't say that. He didn't use that language, but that was his intent was, you're not fucking living here. You go get a job or, So it was kind of like at that point I decided, okay, well, I'm going to, maybe I'll go to LA and try to be an actor. I never even thought about acting before.
Right.
I never really had, dawned on me. So I went and got 2 jobs. And one was, the idea that I was like a handyman, that is just about as hysterical as you can ever think. I mean,
You're the worst handyman I'd ever hire.
Yeah. Well, I've always been like, I used to go to that job, and it was at a hotel. And like,
This is in L.A.?
No, it was in Havasu.
Oh, so you're getting a job. When did you
I'm getting 2 jobs. I'm working at 2. I'm working.
Still
I was
staying at your
washing
mom, your dad's
dishes.
house?
I was working as like a handyman, basically, kind of 2 minimum wage jobs. Okay.
It kind of reminded me of the time when I was 16, so I was younger, and I used to play this video game called World of Warcraft, and it's a computer game, and I would play all day. I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and I'd play till about 2 or 3 in the morning. I'd just stopping to piss and eat. That's all I'd do. And one day you came into my room and you went, "You need to get a fucking job."
I did.
You said, and you said, "You're getting a job. Where do you want to work?" I said, "I either want to work at Blockbuster or Coffee Bean." Next week I had a job at Coffee Bean.
That's right. Oh, that's funny.
I didn't know that. I thought you just went out and got the.
Oh,
you came in. You were like, "You're playing that video game too much. You need to go get a job."
Yeah. Well, the dad came out in you, didn't it? It passed
well,
on.
I'd had some experience from my dad. Really just like pulled me out of bed, like kind of threw me like, "Get the fuck."
So now you're in. Let's get to California. What are these other 2
we got
jobs?
Jim on the line, by the way.
What?
Jim, you there?
Hey, Jim.
I'm here. Yes.
Okay.
Jimmy.
I am done. I've served my time, and I'm done with jury duty.
Out of my headphones. I'm telling you, Jim, Timmy's here, of course, and we're talking. He was asking me sort of how I got started. I was telling him how I flunked out of University of Arizona, had to go home to like this family of professionals. I was a loser, and I was kind of started doing the same thing in Lake Havasu that I was doing at the University of Arizona, which was smoking pot and drinking and hanging out with my friends and trying to find girls. And my dad said, like, that ain't going to go. That's not going to fly. And kind of pulled me out of bed once, not real delicately, and said, go get a job. So I went and I got 2 jobs. And so I was working 80 hours a week. And I put together about $2,000.
Wow.
And after, this was after a couple of months of doing it, maybe 3 months of doing it. And my mother told, my parents told, at that point I'm saying, I'm going to L.A. I'm going to go to L.A. to be an actor. And in my mind, I was thinking, just go to L.A. Nobody fucking succeeds right away. I'll just go over there and fucking get lost for a while. And, like that was, and it's kind of close. It wasn't like I was moving to New York or anything. True. I could always come back home. And so, so I took one of my parents' cars, which was a Volkswagen. I drove to L.A. and stayed at my dad's law partner's daughter's house for 2 or 3 weeks. She was dating a dentist. The dentist had an apartment above his dentist's place, and he said, if you fix my ear, you're my cleaning person now. Like, I clean the dentist's office every day, every morning, and after a day of work, and so you can have the place upstairs. So, and then I got a job downtown working. Originally, it was just some sort of like credit, like, a company, and people don't, they don't pay their bills. And so you kind of call them on the phone, working for the JB, whatever company it was. And
Grant, wasn't it? I seem to remember WD Grant or something like that. But it was like a furniture store, wasn't it?
Furniture store and kind of novelty store. They had those gumball machine lamps and shit like that.
Okay.
But I started off as sort of a, like, and then
Office guy.
Office staff, and then that didn't, I ended up with the
Out on the loading dock.
Yeah, basically with all the Hispanic guys. I got demoted from like my sort of job that I wore a tie, and next thing I know, I'm like loading boxes with all these guys who are.
Let's get into how you got into acting.
Well,
so when did?
At that point, I started taking acting classes.
Oh, you did?
Started taking acting classes with Vince Chase.
Yeah, and then tell us
how
about the
did
story
Vince
when you
come
got
to
to
your
the other Michael.
David Valentine. What?
Remember you had another name the same as yours, and you both showed up, and they made you both do the audition?
Do you want to tell the story?
I don't know that one. I want you to tell it because I forget it.
Well, let me tell it, man. I tried to tell it about 10 minutes ago.
You haven't got there yet. You're going to the dentist job. Who cares about that? Let's get to your acting.
Okay. All right. So you asked me how I got started. So
okay,
it didn't just start.
I think that's a funny story.
Okay, so this is how I got into the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah,
all right,
that's a better story.
I went to a commercial agent.
You remember what the audition was that you were up for?
Yeah, I know this one for sure. Yeah, okay. That was a Budweiser commercial.
Oh.
But I went up there. I was with a company called the Herb Tannen Agency.
Oh, I remember them.
Okay,
they were good.
They were a good agency, and I was with them. But again, I was not in the Screen Actors Guild, so even though the guy signed me because I was like pretty, they weren't really sending me out because I was not in the Screen Actors Guild. So there's a guy in my class or something like that who was going up for a commercial. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go up for this commercial. I'm just like, show up.
Yeah.
So I showed up and I went in and, maybe said a line or something, but like said hello and met the casting director or whatever. The next thing I know, I'm hired. Oh my God. Okay. Get into the Screen Actors Guild. And, I go down, I sign up for the Screen Actors Guild. I'm doing a commercial and it's all good. I go into wardrobe and, the wardrobe person kind of looks at me and goes, what color's your hair? And I said, I don't know, kind of brownish blonde or whatever. I thought you were a redhead. I heard you were a redhead. I'm like, redhead? No. That's no. I got regular, Right?
Funny story.
And so then, as it turned out, they had actually wanted to hire a guy named Michael Biehn or Michael Barry, something like. I think it was Michael Biehn, and I had come in like there, and I remember Michael Biehn. He was a redheaded kid that was, and I'd come in right behind him, Michael Biehn, and somehow they screwed that up, and so. Instead of firing me, and they had Michael Biehn and I both do the commercial.
Wow.
Okay, so we did the commercial, and he did it, and that one part, and then I did that part, and then when they decided who they were going to use, they decided to use me.
What a story.
Okay, so I'm in the commercial, the Budweiser commercial, and at that point, the Budweiser company or the casting people, whoever it was, wanted me to come down and sign like something that said I was 21, or they sent it to my agent.
Well, you were only 20 at the time?
I was only 20, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 19 or
This
20,
is.
So I'm like
that.
20 years old, 19, 20 years old. And they wanted me to sign this, which in retrospect, I should have just fucking signed it. But I was like, my dad's a lawyer and shit, I'm like, I don't, And my agent, I remember Herb Tannen, just sign it. It's no big deal. I'm like, why don't you sign it then? He was like, nah, I don't want to sign it. So I didn't sign it, and they ended up like taking me out of the commercial and putting him in. But by that time, I'd already got into the Screen Actors Guild. So once I was in the Screen Actors Guild, then it made it easier for me to go up for commercials. It made it easier for me to, start getting bit parts.
Wow!
Alert! Runner headed toward quadrant 4. that was my first time on camera. Logan's Run. It wasn't, of course, in the movie. It was in the television series, and I was one of those guys that was always in the pilot of shows that never got turned into television series. But I I had done so much work by the time I'd done my own series with Quinn Martin. I had done a bunch of TV stuff before. People always kind of think my career started with the Terminator.
Yeah.
But, before that, I'd worked with George C. Scott. I'd done it started off with one line. And then I started modeling, not like runway modeling, but it's like they call it print modeling.
Yeah.
And it's just like 4 kids hanging around a car or something like that. And I remember I did something for I forget the name of the swimsuit company. It's a famous, kind of well-known Jav something. Yeah. And I
Jansen.
Thank you. Yeah. It was this, and they took pictures of me in my swimsuit, and I remember that ad ended up being amongst, I'm sure, many places in a Playboy magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So really? When I got that like Playboy magazine, and there's me. Just me in a swimming suit in an ad. I was like, oh my, like that was like, I was running home to Lake Havasu going like, look at this, look at this, look at this, every little thing, getting in the Screen Actors Guild, getting my first time in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And the reason I got that was because I that didn't have anything to do with an agent or whatever, but I was dating the daughter of the head of publicity at MGM. And he sent me in for that, and I got he probably just said like use him or whatever. It was one line, alert runner headed toward quadrant 4. That was when I found out. That's when I realized that the Academy Awards. If I'm not mistaken, Jim, what's the name of that movie with Ned Beatty and Network? It was Network. I think it was an MGM movie, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So that's when I learned that, like, he'd have like the Academy Award. He was like a member of the Academy, and I remember him like getting his Academy and me sitting down next to him watching like which things he like punked.
His ballot.
His ballot. Yeah.
Wow.
This one's an MGM. So that's when I first realized that
my experiences were very similar in a lot of ways. I didn't want to be an actor. It never was a thought of mine, ever. And I was a flight attendant, and I got based in Los Angeles. And this friend of mine who you knew somehow, David Fletcher, somehow you went to U of A and you went to ASU and you came and you got in a fight with him at SCE House or something.
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember hearing about this. Yeah. Anyway, he kept saying, you got a lot of energy. You got to come to my acting class. And I go, I'm not an actor. It's not something I even want to do. And he kept bugging me. I finally went to this acting class. And I had never seen dialogue on a piece of paper and somebody acting it. First time I ever saw it. I found it to be interesting. And I saw 2 of them. One was yelling and one was a comedy. And I left and I looked at the teacher. I said, I don't know you and you don't know me, but I know I can do that. And he goes, okay, I want you to come back Wednesday and bring some sheep music. You're going to sing too. I said, no, I don't sing. I'm not very good at that. In fact, I'm so bad. One time I was singing in the shower and the water went off. He started laughing. And I went back the next day and I did my first scene. And everybody said, you're good. I go, really? I'm good at acting? All right, I'll give it a shot. So again, nobody's going to hire you if you're not in SAG or if you've never done anything. Yeah. So I did a showcase. I didn't know what a showcase was. They go, okay, you get a partner and you pay $35 and we do a scene in front of a casting director.
Right.
So I got the scene. I did this. Picked a really good scene for me. And I did the scene, and the next morning at 9 o'clock, I was living in the David Fletcher's garage at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And I could make garages like really nice apartments. Yeah. It was nice. Although you had to open the garage to open the door. It was kind of weird. And all of a sudden at 9 o'clock in the morning, he's banging on the garage, and he's freaking out. MGM's on the phone. They want to talk to you. I go, MGM? Well, this is just from doing the night before I did my scene. And Pennies for Heaven, Ross Brown.
Steve Martin. Yeah.
Ross Brown was the casting director.
Yes. Yep.
And I come in there, and the first thing he says to me, how come you didn't have your shirt on when you were doing that scene?
How come you didn't have?
Yeah, I was wearing jeans and a T-shirt and socks. I was at my home.
Yeah.
My girlfriend comes in. Hi, honey. What did he say? I'm pregnant. I knew it. Of course we knew. Well, it could have been a tumor, just a regular one. I mean, it was a funny scene, right?
Okay.
And I said, no, I wasn't trying to show off. That's where I am at home. I don't really, maybe I was. I don't know. So he ends up saying, okay, we're going to hire you.
I think Ross turned out a little.
He was gay too. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I think all of us seem to get started with that whole
gay lock. The gay guy looked like shit. So he hires me in Pennies for Heaven to do one little scene, and I'm all excited.
In the movie?
In the movie. And the phone rings. Yeah, I got this new guy. I want you to hire you. What? You mean it's already been cast? So again, boom. I got it, and I lose it. Right. Should have known right then and there that was going to be my life.
Right, yeah.
I did a thing with Kubrick, something the other day. Oh, from London. They're doing a documentary on Full Metal Jacket, and they...
Why?
Well, guess who's producing it? Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he wouldn't be in my documentary that they're doing. I know now why, because he wanted to do his own. But anyway, they wanted to use a 2011 interview that I did with him.
You should tell him to fuck himself.
And I said,
listen, isn't he the one who basically said, oh, yeah,
I couldn't yell long enough for 30 minutes?
Yeah, which was bullshit. Yeah. And now he's calling you and he wants you to be in his...
No, not them. The producer, or he's one of the... Whatever. They had... So they had me tell the story again, because I don't want them to use the 2011... I don't remember what I looked like. I was beat up back then, and telling the story over, it made me depressed. So I said, I would rather do a new one. So anyway, I had to do one a couple of days ago from Kubrick Society, it was called. And they had all these people asking questions. And all of a sudden, this hot chick, asked me this really heavy question. And I said, where are you? She goes, I'm in Afghanistan. I go, you're in Afghanistan? You're calling from Afghanistan? And they have actresses in Afghanistan? I couldn't believe it. Right, so anyway, I'm getting off the subject of the story. What was I talking about?
It's hard for the women acting with those jihabs things.
No, she looked nothing
It's hard
like
for
that.
them to get their emotions out when the faces are
can't
completely...
see their eyes. Anyway, that just happened recently. Anyway, I'm getting back to the story of I should have known, because I had 2 starring roles in that movie, both taken away, both brought back.
Right.
No actor can say that. That was pretty much what I was getting to. So anyway, I'm like you now. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just want to try this stuff out. And Rune Captor, who you know, was with the Wilder Agency. And I went in to try to see if I could get an agent, and it was at 11 o'clock, my audition to meet him. And at 11 o'clock, I'm there on time. I'm always on time. And at 11:30, I'm still waiting. I felt like a doctor's office. And they handed me a script and go, you're going to do this script when you see him. So I went in and did the script. And he goes, what are you doing right now? I said, nothing. He goes, I want you to go on this interview. So he sent me on a Coors Beer interview. And the Coors Beer interview was, I've been driving for 70 miles, and all I can think about is beer, beer, beer. And you give me a light beer? Right. And the guy goes, this is Coors Light. And I go, hey, that's pretty good, right? So anyway, I go in the interview. I've been driving for 70 miles. All I can think about is beer. Oh, that's energy, you know. And they like that energy for commercials. And I had natural energy. So I get a call back. And the next one is for Coors Beer, but it's for Mexico. And it's the same thing. They bring in a Mexican guy, and he goes, I tried to pitch a hot no-hitter. You tried to cool me down with a light beer? You ever drink light beer?
Yeah.
And I had to go, this is Coors Light.
Right, yeah.
And then he drinks and goes, hey, ¿qué pasa?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they bring in another Mexican, and another Mexican. 3 or 4 of them, I got all their dialogue down now because I've heard it, and I get another call back. This is all happening fast for me, right? The 3rd week, I'm getting a call back for Coors Beer. I wear my Dodger outfit again. I come in there, and there's 3 sets of guys, and they're all wearing river rafting outfits.
Okay.
And I come in, and he goes, oh, Tim, there you are. You're up first. And I look around. I'm the only guy dressed in baseball outfit. And I come in there, and this big fat director sat down in front of me, and in a room this big, and there's all kind of people, and they have cue cards, and I don't like cue cards, and they got all this stuff written. And they got everybody leaning on me, and I'm in the middle. And he likes me, and he wants me to do this, and I can't do it.
Can't do what?
I cannot read this dialogue off this huge piece of paper and act. I'm too nervous.
Okay.
I suck.
Okay.
And this guy wants me to do it. I did it 8 times in a row. He wanted me to do it, and I couldn't do it. Next thing I know, I'm outside, and they got another guy in the middle, and now I'm leaning on him.
Right.
And I felt like I lost, right?
Uh-huh.
I go down to my car. They sent a production assistant down to my car. He wants you to see you do it one more time. I wanted to say, I can do it 1,000 times and I'm not going to get it. I can't do this. I just couldn't do it. My mind was not able to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I knew no matter how many times I wouldn't be able to do it. And I didn't get it. About a month goes by, I'm up for another Coors Beer commercial, and it had to be a 30-year reunion or 10-year reunion. And they wanted you dancing and shaving. And I shaved and I danced, and they go, can you ride a horse? I go, I can ride a bull. That's exactly what I said. So they hire me. They take me down to the last shot. It's supposed to be with this beautiful girl on the back of a horse riding through the ocean bareback.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's.
I'm on this horse. I've never been on a horse in my life. And I'm on this horse, and I'm bouncing and waving, thinking that's the way to do it, you know? And the girl in the back of me goes, he don't know how to ride. He don't know what he's doing. So they fire me. Now Rune is on my ass for, that you couldn't ride a horse. I can ride a horse. Just give me a moment here. I'll figure it out, I know I can,
Bareback. That's
I still could. I know me.
In the water?
Yeah, I know me. I'd have figured it out in minutes.
Yeah.
But now I'm fired. And, this is SAG card. This was a lot of money at the time, 20 grand about. And I'm hurting. And Rune's on my ass, my agent. I said, this is not a good time to be on my ass, man. I'm hurting here. Just stop it right now. I'm really upset. Saw that girl 6 months later. I said, how'd it go? Well, they got a stunt man. He threw me. I broke my shoulder.
Good, bitch.
I wanted to go. I thought that, but I didn't say it. And I found out years later I could have been SAG because they hired me on that commercial.
That's what happened to me.
Exactly. I'm saying it's very similar.
See, I ran down and got my SAG card before they realized they made a mistake.
So the funny part about that, then, I really wanted to do film. I started landing a lot of commercials eventually. I was getting callbacks on almost everything I did, but I couldn't land. Then I started landing. I did some good commercials. I did a Jovan commercial that made me $80,000. It made me more money than I made in Full Metal Jacket. It played for 5 years. Adrian Lyne directed it.
That's when Adrian Lyne directed.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, they saw 1,000 actors in New York, 1,000 actors in L.A., and they, when you go for a commercial, it says Coors or it says the name of whatever you're going to read for. This had a big question mark. And it said, whenever you go in there for this audition, you don't want to tell anybody what you did when you went on the audition. So I went in there, and they had this redheaded girl about 6'1". They said, hold her hands like you're in love with her. I go, she's taller than me. So I said, put her on the ground. And then they asked me, tell me the first time you ever had sex. I told them that story about, when I got laid and I thought I fucked her to death. That's a funny story. Anyway, but I didn't. I told it without swearing and pretty good. And I get a call back. And Adrian Lyne looks at me and goes, that was a wonderful story, Tim. He looked at the producer. Have you heard it? No. Tell it again, Tim. So now I know they like the story. I tell that story, and I get booked on this commercial. And I still am wondering, what am I doing on this commercial? So I go to the set. The set's out like at Zuma Beach.
Yeah.
Beautiful set. They got this house, and they got a smaller house down at the bottom. Really rich house right in the ocean. And the smaller house down at the bottom, they put all the actors, and they go, bring up the black couple now. And the black couple will come up. So I'm getting bored. I see there's a sand trap and a little green there, so I get my clubs out of my car, and I start hitting sand shots. They call down, tell that guy he can't practice sand shots. So I put the club back in, and I'm looking at 1 o'clock, we're having lunch, and I'm staring at the director like, give me something to work with here, He goes, Tim, we're going to shoot you after lunch in the shower scene with her. And he points to the hottest chick in this commercial. I go, whoa, shower scene with this hot chick. This is great. Right? Yeah. So what? You go, yeah, so you're going to be in a suit, and she's going to be in a shower, and you're going to jump in the shower like I just got a promotion. That's the idea, Tim. That's the idea. So they call me up, and they put the Simply Red Holding Back the Years, whatever the fucking song is, Oh, yeah. And they put that on. They got the fake steam on, and she's in a tube top. She's got, and I come in the shower. Now, you're used to all these romantic scenes. I don't get very many of them. But I remember thinking, I'm kissing on this chick, and she's splashing water, and beautiful scene. And they're cut. Now, if you're going to do another take, we got to get in another suit.
Yes,
But
dry off.
But they were happy with what they got. I'm wrapped. I can go. I'm hanging around, and I see this little boy, and you know how I am. I'm with little kids. I start playing with this kid, and I say, push this hole in my chin. And he put it, I go, and he pushes it, and I go, and then he pushes it, and I go, oh, thank you. And this kid thought this was a toy, and he kept playing with me and playing with me and playing with me, right? So I'm wrapped, ready to go home. In the last shot, they had this guy named Billy Worth. He was an Indian model. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I really remember that name. Yes.
And they had him supposed to hold a 6-month-old baby in his arms with the sun coming down with this old, like, 56 pink Cadillac, right?
Yeah.
Great shot. Well, they hired these 2 kids, 2 6-month-old kids.
Yeah.
After 6 hours, they didn't use them. They got to release them and pay them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now they got no kids.
Right.
They take the 2-year-old kid that I'm playing with.
Yeah.
They stick him in his arms.
Right.
What's the kid do? Mama, Mama. He's freaking out. Director goes, cut. Tim, get acquainted with that kid. We're going to shoot you on the beach. So I'm already acquainted with the kid.
Right.
Find out he's the kid's producer, son.
Yeah.
He's Italian. He says, if you say baci, he'll kiss you. That means kiss. So I'm playing with the kid. Baci, he's kissing me. And now Adrian Lyne is no longer directing. He's behind the camera. The sun's coming down, and he's behind the camera. This is brilliant. This is splendid. This is lovely. He used all those English accents, adjectives. And then I'm thinking, well, he likes what I shot, right? They ended up cutting out the shower scene. They left that last scene in there, and it played for 5 years.
Right.
And I got $80,000 because every like $2,000 the first year, then the next year doubles.
Yeah.
And when it kept playing, some guy his manager wanted one of his guys out of there, and they said, we want to try to cut him out. If we can't, we said, we can't cut him out. 6 months later, we want to show the commercial down in Yugoslavia. Is that all right? I said, yeah, if you pay me. And I didn't hear anything after that.
Right.
But it won awards and everything, that stupid commercial. So anyway, now I want to do a film, right? But nobody wants to hire me because I've never done a film. So I'm on the beach, and my friend says, my sister's a casting director. Do you want to be in a movie? I go, yeah. What do I got to do? He goes, come on with me. So I go down there. She is a casting director for extras.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't want to be an extra. Anybody can do that. I don't want to do this. So I'm on this movie with Merv Griffin, Madeline Kahn, Jerry Lewis. What the hell's the name of this movie? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, and Marty Feldman.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working I'm the worst extra. I'm supposed to look at the camera. I'm dancing. You can see my head looking for the camera. I mean, I'm the worst extra there is. But they're bringing me back every day. They like me. And I'm on the set, and I see Marty Feldman's coming towards me,
right.
And there's nobody else around. And he's got this one eye that's going kind of the other way, So I looked him right in the eyes, and I looked the other way to see what he was looking at. And then I looked back at him, and he liked the fact that I looked him in the eye. So he shook my hand. I thought, okay, we're good buddies, And the next scene, he's supposed to come through, and there's beer cans everywhere, and he's in a little tuxedo, and he's got a phone call. And they got me leaning up with some hot chick feeding me grapes, like the party, and it's like after the end of the party, and I got like a tuxedo shirt half undone, leaning over, and I got a champagne glass in my hand that's empty. They go, action. He comes in, starts doing his stuff, and he sees me, and he walks over, and he has a bottle of champagne, and he pours champagne in my glass. So I look like this, and he takes the glass, and he goes, what? Throws it in my face. Oh, the director likes this. So now they bring the big camera right in front of me, and I'm going, oh, this is my big break.
Right.
Here's the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't get any closer to this.
Yeah.
So my thought is now, Timmy, this is your big break. Don't screw this up every time. And we did like 8 takes in a row of me turning and him throwing this champagne in my eyes. Well, the alcohol's now drying my eyes out because there's, I'm trying to keep my eyes open, like not to go like that.
Yes.
Make sure I'm doing the job, like a surprise. And they sent me a picture of me and Marty afterwards, and they had a rap party. And I went to it was S-Pop Productions, and I went to the director. I go, hey, do you remember me? He goes, I remember you. I put you on the roof and told you to wrap this rope around there, and you act like the whole world was watching you. We're going to use you again. I thought, okay. So 6 months I came by, and I went into their office. And his mother's name was Dorothy Paul. And she liked me. And she goes, this is the guy I was telling you about. Say this line. Smile. The line was, nobody's going to teach my kids that crap. That was the line. It was a movie called No Name, Eminon, No Name backwards. And this guy was preaching, and it was in the Griffith Park. So she goes, Stewie, this is the guy I was telling you about. Stewie goes, okay, Tim, say that line again, but put your fist like this. And I went, nobody's going to teach my kids that crap.
Wow.
He goes, you're hired. 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm at Griffith Park. They got me in a construction outfit. He starts preaching. Nobody's going to teach my kids that crap. We started fighting. Remember, the hammer went in my style. One take, we're done. I'm in SAG. I got my SAG card. I made $900. I go, this acting's easy. So,
yep.
About a year went by. They were doing a movie called Never Too Young to Die. John Stamos and Vanity, and Gene Simmons was my boss, and they hired me.
Wow.
And it was funny because I went to audition, and you know how you get knocked out, and then they take that stuff and you smell it and you wake up?
Of course.
Right?
Smelling salt.
Smelling salt. So I'm in the middle of the audition on the floor of her office, like I'm knocked out after I did my dialogue. Okay. I was laying on the ground like this, and all of a sudden I went like this. I went, like that. And she went, I told you you could act. I told you you could act. I thought, that's what made her like me. I was waking up from smelling sauce. So they hired me, and I had just sent the tape to Kubrick, and I get hired for Full Metal Jacket now. So now I'm not even thinking about this movie. I'm going to go over there and do this, Stanley Kubrick movie. And that's when I met John Voight. He was really good friends with all those people. He was such a cool guy, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I talked with him about Vietnam and God, and he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So we became pretty good buddies, me and him, through them. And that's when I finally went over and we told the story about what I went through in Full Metal Jacket, and that's how I met you. And now I think I've done something like 60 films, but nothing like you. I mean, I have 75 credits right now in IMDb.
Yeah.
And, Babylon 5, I think my best one, which is interesting, I don't know if you know this, in Leprechaun in Space, they wanted Lee Ermey to play the driller. They wanted him to play the role I played. And his agent said, he's played that role again already. He doesn't need to play it.
Yeah.
So when I went in to read for it, and I did the dialogue, the woman says, this is the other drill instructor or whatever. Yeah. So she brings the director, and the director goes, all right, let's see what you can do. And I start doing the dialogue, and he goes, all right, the next scene when you're doing it, I want you to be a Southern preacher. And somehow I did that. I remember driving home and going, how the hell did I do that, And may all our wounds be flesh wounds only. I don't know how I came up with this Southern preacher thing he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting hired, and it was probably the most fun role I've ever played. He turns me into a woman, and I have a metal plate in my head, and my name is Sergeant Metalhead Hooker. And at the end of the movie, I get zapped, and my head pops off. I'm a cyborg. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun role to play. You get all these roles where you get to be characters throughout. I always get the one scenes, and that's it. One good scene, and I'm done. So it was fun to have more than one good scene and play a character more than,
yes,
that I normally get to play. And I don't ever get the romantic ones that you do. And it's funny, you remember Eric Weston? He hired me for a movie, and he goes,
oh, yeah.
I can only hire you for one day, but it's a 2-day shoot. And I'm going, that's so typical, Okay. So it was a scene, I forgot who it was, but the guy takes pictures of me of having sex, and he's going to give them to my wife if I don't give him $50,000. So we have the scene where I give him $50,000, but he goes, now we got to do the scene where you have the sex. I went, oh, okay. So they closed the setup, and they hired this girl, and she was over there in this red bikini sitting on the chair. She's got, perfect skin, and I looked at her resume. Debbie Does Dallas. I mean, everything. Everything this is normal for her.
All right. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I got to be making out with this chick, and her fake boobs and shit, and it was 4 hours I spent doing it, and I was going home on the 405, and it was packed Friday, and I see a truck next to me, and they're all painters, and they're all wearing their white outfits, and they're holding Budweisers, and I'm sitting in my car, completely stopped, and I go, you guys just get off work? I go, yeah. I said, me too. They paint, and I had a picture of her in a red bikini of her 8x10. I said, they paid me to have sex with this girl. And I just got off the set, and I would have done it for free. I don't get those like you do. But saying that, was it difficult for you kissing women that you didn't really know? Or
No. I look forward to those things.
Oh, they were. So I didn't get as many as you did. Those few I had were wonderful.
People ask me, what's your favorite scene in Terminator? I'm like,
the kissing scene.
What was your favorite scene like to shoot like in Terminator? Yeah, fucking Linda Hamilton.
Here's one we've talked about, and you mentioned it, George C. Scott. So I came to Michael and I said, Michael, I got to do this scene and I got to cry. I'm pretty good at yelling and everything, but the crying thing is kind of hard for me. He goes, don't worry about it. They got these special eye drops. I go, what? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. You got the special eye drops. So I get to the set, and the first scene is I got to cry. And I go to the makeup artist. I go, yeah, I got to do the scene. You got the special eye drops?
Menthol blowers is what
they go, what?
Not drops, but anyway.
Whatever. I used the special eye drops line.
Okay.
She goes, we got no special eye drops. And I'm thinking, oh, great. How am I going to do this scene? And we're outside, and I look right next to where I'm at, and there's this big lemon tree. So I look around, I pull the lemon tree, and I bite it. And I start squeezing the lemon in my eyes. And they go, action. And I got the eyes crying and shit. They go, cut. And they say, this doesn't work here. They keep moving the set away from the lemon tree. Get further and further. I go, how the hell am I going to get back to the lemon tree for the scene, Finally, they moved it all the way over to a big fire pit. So now I'm staring at the fire pit, and the smoke starts coming up in my eyes. I go, oh, my God, this is better than the lemons. This is making my eyes water if I don't blink. So I used that. And funny, we talked about that later. You said that George C. Scott had the special menthol. They squirted
it was the very first time I'd ever seen what they call a menthol blower. And it was, it was George C. Scott and I didn't really even know what it was at the time, but they've been using them for, 40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to use them? Have you had to ever cry in a scene?
I managed to, I've never been able to naturally have tears, although I did do, a movie with Demi Moore, and do you remember the name of that one, Jim?
No, that was the
Seventh Sign.
Yeah,
Seventh Sign. Yeah. At the end of that, she dies. She's my wife. I'm left with a child or something like that, and I have a tear that comes out of my eye. So I cried a little bit in that, but I don't get a lot of crying.
No, you don't,
scenes. I'm usually, kind of. A military guy or something.
Somebody wake Hicks,
Somebody wake up Hicks, yeah.
Well, I think
you think about Hicks crying or,
15 years after we spoke, I was reading for I think her name was Sheila Manning. I could be wrong, but it was casting. And
Sounds right.
It was a
Sounds right.
It was a father's son was telling him he was gay and dying of AIDS. And I had to.
You were the father or you were the gay
father.
Guy? Yeah. What? Well, how would I know?
I was the father, and I bashed this guy.
You couldn't have played the young gay.
It's funny you say that because I don't think you know this. I was up for a role where I had to be a gay guy, and I said, "There's no way in hell they're going to hire me." Right. And I played this role. Oh, look, he looks fabulous. Turn around. I did a couple of those, and they ended up hiring me. And I thought this would be good on my reel of showing me shooting people out of the helicopter and then being a gay guy,
Yeah.
And they hired me. It was a SAG film with Alan Alda. And the day before I filmed...
Did you work with Alan Alda?
What happened was the day before I filmed, he couldn't get out of the contract from Canada, so they had to pay me, and they said, we'll probably shoot this in a year, and they never shot it.
Right.
But I still got paid to be a gay guy I never played. Anyway, I get cast to play this father, and my son's dying of AIDS, and it was live. It wasn't like film. It was like a play in front of the Scientology. And I had to cry on this line. For some reason, I cried on this one line. I want my old boy back. That line got me. And I don't have children, so I don't know why, but it connected. And I cry on this line every time. And I had to do two scenes or two times in front of the Scientology, 5,000 people, cry on cue.
When you say in front of the they were shooting on Hollywood Boulevard?
No, it was the Scientology place. Was it Hollywood Boulevard?
Well, the big one, Jim was on Hollywood, but there was the one that I went to with Kathy Lee Crosby that we've spoken about that was on
Franklin.
Franklin.
No, Celebrity Center?
Well, no, the Celebrity Center was, you go down You go down to Hollywood Boulevard from our apartment. You take a right. You hit La Brea, and it was right on the right-hand side. That's where I went with Kathy Lee Crosby. But the main one was on Sunset. I always thought of it as being on Sunset Boulevard. I mean,
I think the first place you went, if in front of 5,000
or
people,
Hollywood Boulevard.
They had hip hop dancers and they had 2 acting scenes live in front of these 5,000 people.
Okay.
So I was very, very proud of myself to be able to connect enough to be able to cry on cue.
Yeah.
15 years later, without using the lemons anymore. I've come a long way. Anyway, it's funny talking about all these different things. People don't realize the backstories that we have, to get into these characters. I never once thought about the money. I always thought about, I can't wait to play this character. If I get paid, fine. I always thought that, but you knew as a commercial.
That's what agents are for.
Boy, isn't that the case? And I sure could have used one. Thank God you helped me out with Ed.
Yeah.
Boy, what a big difference that was when we were in London.
Yeah.
Wow, from having no agent to having Ed LaManna.
Yeah.
And he had that voice. Oh, would you like me to have to talk for him, Tim? I'll talk to him. He had that deep voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. And boy, they were, you have a new agent now. Well, they were a whole different ballgame when he came on board. But it was funny how when they took the door gunner role away from me, they sent him a letter saying, we're thinking about cutting out the door gunner. Tell Tim. And then ICM does not call me. They don't let me know anything. A week goes by. It's 100% sure now we've decided to cut the door gunner roll out. Tell Tim we're really sorry. So ICM calls me up. Tim, we got a letter a week ago, but we didn't say anything. But now we got another letter. It's for sure. They've cut you out of the film. We're really sorry. And I hung up the phone. I wasn't even hardly mad anymore. I'd been hurt so bad the first time around. The second time around, it didn't matter. So now I'm going to sue him. I'm going to sue Stanley Kubrick. But I didn't know what I was going to sue him for. I had no idea. So I thought, well, he cut my hair off to play this role to be the drill instructor. Right. And I used to do a lot of commercials with hair.
There you go.
I'll try that.
Damages. So negligence, right, Jim? We use words like that.
Nothing happens for about 2 months. I said, did you send that letter?
Did you file a lawsuit against him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait till you hear this. Is funny because when I went to Johnny Lee with the country western singer.
Yeah.
I said, Johnny.
That's the guy who had you sent me the joint when I was doing the Abyss, and that was the joint that I smoked.
Took a couple puffs and put it down.
Well, that was very strong. That's the one where
were you?
I was in South Carolina. I was doing the Abyss, and I told the story in the podcast before that you sent me it was that
Johnny
guy.
Lee's?
Johnny Lee, you sent me a joint in the mail, and I smoked it, a little bit of it on the way to work, and I was, all of a sudden, I'm just like, whoa, and I like barely made it into work. I was like freaking out. I was paranoid. I was like getting through wardrobe, and I was like, finally got on the set. It was a fight scene with Ed Harris, right? And I'm sitting there, and I remember Cameron walking by, and me just thinking to myself, just say hello to him. Just say, see if you can get hello out. Hi, Jim. Hey, Michael. Hi, Jim. Oh, he did it. Very, very, very good. And that's the one where I looked over and on the other side of the set, and I saw me, and I was fucking stoned. You know this story?
No.
You didn't know this story?
I kind of heard it, but I didn't know it was that.
Yeah. I looked over to the other side of the set, and I was like, oh, my fuck. What am I doing over there? Stoned out of my fucking mind. What the fuck am I doing over there? I'm here. Jesus Christ. The fuck is this pot?
You're freaking out.
I'm totally fucking freaking out. Oh, fuck, Why am I there? I'm here. What's going on, And finally, I who was standing over there, turned around, and it was my stunt man in all my entire outfit, my gear, and
that's funny.
Like,
thank God! I thought I saw myself.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so Johnny had an entertainment lawyer, and I said, "Can I talk to him?" So I went to this guy. I said, "Look, I got no money, but I was in this movie, Full Metal Jacket, and I used to do commercials. Can we send it?" And he goes, all right, all I want is 2 tickets when the movie comes out. And I said, okay. So he sends this letter to Kubrick. Nothing happens. I go, send one of those letters to Warner Brothers. So he sends one to Warner Brothers. I get a letter from Kubrick. Dear Tim, My lawyers say while we're under litigation, I should not communicate with you whatsoever. But I don't want to let you know it's not unusual to lose your role to another actor or have your role cut out of the film. I'm sorry this happened.
Pretty
Sincerely,
unusual,
Stanley
Stanley,
Kubrick. And I kind of went, what the hell's that going to do me, you know? And then I think it was 2 or 3 months after the movie was wrapped, they decided to put the door gunner roll back in. And that's when I flew back over and shot.
That's because they looked at the second half of the movie, and it was so fucking terrible that they decided they needed something that would liven up the second half of that movie.
We talked about that yesterday on the whatever thing.
With Matthew Modine.
Yeah, he said. I actually said, if that character wasn't in that movie wouldn't have been the same. The door gunner. It's amazing how many Marines.
Oh, every time I ever meet any Marine, but almost everybody in the Army too.
And Air Force and police and firemen.
Yeah.
Well, and get some would have never entered the vocabulary, you know?
That's true. It's really interesting. The Commandant of the Marine Corps just recently, it's the 250th birthday this year, which I'm not going to be around.
Of the Marine Corps?
Of the Marine Corps.
Okay.
November 10th. That's with their birthdays. Last year I was in so many of them. I was offered to go to Palmdale to Lee Ermey's Bravery. They wanted me to be the guest of honor this year, and I'm going to be in Indonesia.
You're a busy boy, man. You can't do Lee Ermey's fucking...
Fuck that. I've had enough of it, you know.
Yes, yeah, of
so,
course.
But, you know, they have a book that came out called Full Metal Straitjacket.
Wait a second.
Yeah. No, Full Mental Straitjacket. He changed the metal to mental.
That was our title, wasn't it, Jim?
Yeah, we tried
That's
that.
what we called
I actually tried that for the documentary I've been working on too. So anyway, he changed it Full Mental Straitjacket.
Good.
And it's 3 chapters.
Yeah.
Kubrick, Ermey, and Colceri.
Right.
That's it. And I learned
That's
a lot
the name
about,
of each chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's only 3 chapters, 430 pages. I'm 50
Wow.
pages.
What?
434 pages.
Wow.
It's really, it's getting great. It's great. I learned a lot about Lee, and I hope people will learn a lot about what I went through, because a lot of people don't and still know what I had, the experiences I went. So it is amazing that I was suing Stanley Kubrick. Well, here's a part that's interesting. So I get this letter from Stanley, and then I get this phone call 2 months later saying they decided to put the door gunner roll back in. They want to know if I want to play it. Call this number. Well, I called that number 2 years ago when I first called Leon, 011675653, you know, forever, and that weird ring it has. And it's Jan Harlan, the executive producer.
Yeah.
And he's talking, hello, Tim, this is a fine role. You're going to love this role. I go, wait a minute. Are you giving me this role back because I'm suing you? Tim, it costs $60,000 a day just to rent the helicopter. Stanley's not worried about you suing him. I went, okay. So I didn't worry about it anymore.
Right.
And I go to shoot the second time to London. I stop in Miami. This is funny. You can remember this. And they say, we'll call you in Monday. Call me on Monday. We're having a problem with the helicopter. We'll call you on Thursday. Call you on Monday. We'll call you on Thursday. We'll call you on Monday. We'll call you on Thursday. Call you on 8 weeks later. I'm stuck in Miami because John Landis was going under being manslaughter for bringing the helicopter too close and killing all the Vic Morrow and
the kid.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Catastrophe.
So they had all these special things they wanted me in the helicopter. They wanted my rounds to fly into a special bag, which they never did. They were flying everywhere. But remember when I go downstairs, so I get on the set with you, and you're working with John Landis.
I'm shooting a movie with John Landis, and I say to Timmy, hey, you should, whatever.
He always brought me down.
Come hang out. We're shooting the John Landis movie. And I say, hey, come on over here and meet John. And I like John Landis. He can be a little prickly sometimes, but I really loved him. He's a great guy. He's got great stories. Boy, would I love to have him on the podcast. He's got great stories.
Is he still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he did a documentary on something somewhat recently, 2 or 3 years ago. But anyway, so we're shooting this. It was originally called Susan's Plan. Dan Aykroyd was in it. Billy Zane was in it. It had Linda Fiorentino. It was a pretty good cast. And
Rob Schneider, right?
Rob Schneider, yeah. And Rob and I played the gang that couldn't shoot straight.
The bumbling,
bumbling, And Rob was great. I see him now a lot. He's sort of, I don't know why he comes up on my phone a lot, but I see a lot of Rob. But he was great, and we had a little bit of fun. But I brought Timmy onto the set, and I say, Timmy, this is John Landis. John, this is Timmy Colceri. Timmy just, he just finished, or, he had worked on Full Metal Jacket. And Landis, Full Metal Jacket, huh? And Timmy proceeds to tell him the story about, like you were saying, I was shooting in a helicopter, but all of a sudden there's like all these fucking rules, and I had to go up at a certain time, and the shells had to come out this way instead of that way. It's all these fucking rules because some fucking asshole killed some fucking kids in a helicopter pilot. John Landis is looking at him like he's from Mars.
He goes, yeah, that was me.
So it was me, yeah.
He handled it really cool, really. You were behind him looking at me like, oh, God, Tim, here you go again. Yeah. No, not Tim. Don't say that, Tim. No. Oh, fuck, that was funny. He was funny. He was cool, actually, about the whole thing. That was weird because...
He also, it was just an odd response. He said, you remember, you look like you're from New York.
Oh, yeah, I'm a Jew or something. He said, didn't he say
why,
something?
Because I'm Jewish?
He goes, it's because I'm a Jew or something. He said something like that.
You look like you're from New York.
Everything I said was wrong. Anyway. So
well, you know what? That movie turned out not to be any good anyway. But
what was the movie that you were on with the guy...
Now you're starting to sound like me.
Yeah.
What was the name of the film?
Anyways, back to that story. I was there 8 weeks, and they finally said they're ready for me. I went back to London, and I spent the other 2 actors were not in the helicopter with me, so I had to spend time of memorizing their dialogue and their eye contact, which is not that hard, but it's not normal either when you're acting not to have actors in the room with you. And
off camera.
I spent a week memorizing that, and then when I finally saw Kubrick for the first time after he screwed me, by taking those 2 roles away, I kept saying, do not do a Homer Simpson on this guy. Do not strangle him, Tim. Just do your job and get out of there. And he didn't like to fly, so I didn't expect him to be in the helicopter. So I came up the helicopter, and there he was. And I went, oh, Mr. Kubrick. Hello, Tim. How are you? Fine, sir. You ever been in one of these? Yes, sir. Fly him around. So I flew around the helicopter for a while and came down. He handed me, it was funny, we were talking, and he handed me a styrofoam thing, and it had a little bottle of red wine and a little plastic cup and some cheese and crackers. And I'm pouring this little red wine in this plastic cup, looking at him and the helicopter behind him in his backyard, and I go, nobody will ever believe me. It was so weird. And then he goes, what's your dialogue? And I did my dialogue, and he looked at Leon and said, you gave him the wrong dialogue to memorize?
Listen, Timmy, we've kind of gone over this the last.
We have?
Yeah, I think so, on the last one.
Oh, so.
But not it. Anybody who wants to watch your episode will hear this story.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then he gave me the wrong. So now I'm going to stink eye everybody to find out, why I got the wrong X. And he went up to that room. It was still interesting of typing. He typed that dialogue I said in 20 seconds. And, hard to believe that I wanted to kill somebody because I didn't know the right dialogue after spending a whole week.
Wasn't there like a story of those rounds were flying out of the gun and they kept hitting the extras like in the face and they had to
No, we didn't have any. There was really wasn't any extras. We had 2 people in there for eyesight one time, then they were gone. Most of it was just on me, and I knew. And the rifle, it's funny, the bouncing of the door gunner of the gun would kind of, it almost became like my laugh. The laugh became almost like the machine gun.
Yes.
And he kept saying, get used to the weapon, get used to the weapon. I don't even remember looking out the door half the time. I was so connected with the camera and just me doing what I was doing. And a couple times I'd have a jam. I'd raise my arm, and a guy come in with a needle-nose plier and pop him out, and it'd flash in my face. I think, really? That's safety?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
I saw 6,000 rounds for that one scene.
Wow.
And, a lot of people don't realize that.
I think that Kalen is going to put up at some point a story about Bill Paxton and I when we were over in London. And I want you to, do you remember your reaction to me when you asked me if I wanted to smoke some pot?
Yeah, I remember it. Well, okay. Well, since we're talking about all this other stuff I didn't think we were allowed to talk about, Vincent D'Onofrio, me and him hung out a little bit. Do you know how I met him? This is interesting. I was at the Hippodrome when I was the drill instructor, and I was leaving the Hippodrome, and this waiter comes up and goes, "Hey, this guy wants to buy a drink before he blows your head off." I went, "What? Who?" And I looked over, and it was Vincent, because in the movie, he blew my head off, you know. That's how we met.
Yeah.
So we hung out a little bit, and he was really worried when I lost the role of the drill instructor. He was worried about he was going to lose his role because we were both no names getting this movie.
Yeah.
And I remember he was with his wife, and we were in one of those black cabs.
Yeah.
And she said something, and he looked at me like she's gone, and I knew right away he was going to divorce her for whatever she said and the way he's looking at her. And he did. He got rid of her really pretty quick. But getting into the pot, there was no pot in London. He couldn't get it anywhere.
Hash.
Yeah. So he took this Diet Coke can and he poked some holes in it, put the hash over, and showed me how to smoke the hash.
Of course.
But then they would take the hash and put it in
cigarettes.
Yeah, and that tobacco made me sweat.
I know. Yeah, I
just
don't like
couldn't
that
do it.
either.
So I thought, I wonder where I can get some pot. And I got to know you guys and thought you were pretty cool. So I said, "Hey, Michael, Bill, you guys know where I can get some pot?" And you went like this immediately. "What'd you ask me that?" "What'd you ask me that right now?" I said, "Well, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking, sorry, I didn't know."
Well, if anybody would have some, it would be you.
And then he goes, "What happened was, me and Bill, we scored some pot."
Wait. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, that story. Yeah,
this will be good timing. It's a story that you've told on the podcast, but I'm going to make it into its own clip. So when you see this podcast in the next day or two, you'll see just that individual clip pop up.
It's the story of what happened to Bill and I when we were over there.
And you're running.
And then when I was coming, dude,
and the cops are chasing.
I know. Listen,
So I don't know none of this. It's like a freaky story for me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what did I even ask that for?
Well, one of the things that I remembered after you came up and introduced yourself, and I wanted to mention on this podcast was that I remember like when you introduced yourself and you're like, "God, this guy," to me, at that time you were playing the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket, and good-looking guy. We used to be good-looking, good-looking fucking guy with just fucking boundless fucking energy. And you came up and you met me and my wife or whatever, and then like I remember the next day, either like you knocked on my door again, or I came down or whatever, and you said, "Oh yeah, I got to run an errand, and you want to come with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." So we go on the King's Road, in Chelsea, which is I can't think of an area anywhere in the world that would be as exciting as that area of where we lived on the King's Road in Chelsea. But anyway, so I go down there with you, and we're walking down the King's Road, and you fucking walk into this fucking thing. I take a left in there with you, and you're like, "What?" I look up, and there's all these screens, and there's horses, and like, it's a betting fucking parlor. So you like...
That was my errand?
That was your errand? That was your errand, right?
I used to run down there all the time.
Well, I know, but the very first time I went with you, you went down there, and, you like bet, like, you had a little bet here, a little bet there, $4 here, $6 here, three little...
Pounds.
What pounds, exactly. And that like the very first day I met you, we've talked about before. Second day I meet you, you won like
$2,000.
$2,000 on like a $6 bet.
Yeah.
It was it was like I'm like I gotta hang out with this guy, man. Yeah. This guy, you know, starring in Full Metal Jacket. He can't lose, you know. Like, yeah.
I remember one time I went down there with a girl from Cockney, which was outside of London or something.
No, Cockney is an accent.
Well, she was
from East
and
East London.
She wouldn't go in there. I can't go in there. My dad wouldn't. Oh, I can't go in there.
Yeah, okay.
So I went, look, we'll just go in there for a few minutes. It won't take us long. I won like $2,000 right in front of her. I said, now you can have all the champagne you want. She thought I was something else, you know. And
so did I. So did I, man.
I would go down there and get a 2-pound bet for every horse and come back to my house and put a hat and put the 2-pound bet underneath the hat. And anybody who was sitting in the hat picked up the hat, they got that ticket.
Right.
Sal Lopez used to come with his wife.
Yeah.
You know, they come to my house and I'm watching. So now it's Christmas. The biggest horse racing day there is. It's called Boxing Day.
Yeah.
It's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And I tell Michael, you got to come with me to this horse track in England. And so I conned you into going with me. We took 2 trains and we ended up going to Kempton Racetrack.
Yeah, we did.
And you remember that? It was cold as hell, like 8-degree weather.
Yes, I do.
And we ran into the people that knew everything. We were winning every bet we made. And the girl drove us back in some sports car.
Yeah.
Gorgeous girl, but she had a back problem. I wasn't into her because she fell off a horse and hurt her back. I thought, I don't want to date her. I shouldn't say that, but that's what
she did. She did take us back.
She did. Remember, we were all clogged up in that car.
Yeah, a little sports car.
I'll never forget
Jaguar or something like that.
Yeah, and we drove all the way back. And then I took you to. Remember, I was a lifetime member at the Stringfellows.
Yeah.
I met Peter Stringfield. He goes, when I met him, he was wearing a lime green outfit, and he's sipping on a straw. And I was telling him stories, and somebody would walk up to him, and he'd sign his autograph. And finally I go, who are you anyway? He goes, I'm Peter Stringfellow. I own this place. Carl, give Tim a lifetime membership.
Yeah.
So I had a lifetime membership, and we go there all the time and eat.
Yeah.
Remember the lines would be around the block, and we could walk right in.
Stringfellow's was the club at the
God, we saw Stevie Wonder and Moody Blues and that idiot, that guy that Michael, the fame, what's his name? He.
God, it's so fun to be on this side of it.
I am getting old, man. You know what's funny? I block people I don't like. I didn't like him. He did. George Michaels.
Oh, okay.
I walked up to him and I said, man, I really love your songs. And he looked at me like I was a dick and just gave me the dirty look. And I'm like, fuck him.
Well, that's because he was interested.
He was another gay guy that didn't like me.
Another gay guy that didn't like you?
Do you remember when we were...
wrap this up.
Boy, the gays are going to fucking hate this thing. Gonna hate me. Do you remember when we were at Pinewood Studios? This is another funny story. Me and you and Bill, and we're at Pinewood Studios where you guys are filming at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And there's nobody around.
Yeah.
And I see Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Remember this?
No.
So I go, fuck, that's Al Pacino. Yeah. And you know me. So I go over to him, and he's talking to another guy. And he's about 30 yards from us. And you're looking at me, Tim, don't go over there. Don't go over there, Tim, you know. I'm on my way already. And I tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, I just wanted to tell you, I think you're a really fine actor. And I swear to God, he turned his head. The slowest you can turn your head, he went. Thank you.
Well,
and I remember looking at him going, you got a big head. His head looked like it was huge.
Yeah.
On his body.
Well, he was over there shooting probably the worst movie.
River.
It was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yes, was it called Revolution? Jim?
Revolution.
Who directed that? That was
Hugh Hudson. I think the director's name was.
Who?
Hugh Hudson.
Hugh Hudson. Oh yeah, he did. Da, 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 da.
Chariots of Fire.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't believe you got that, Jim, out of that. Da, 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 da. Chariots of Fire. You are good. Da, 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 da.
It's really, that movie won Best Picture Oscar. It's the only thing I remember about the movie.
The music was great. Actually, I went back. I've gone back. We're gonna stop this. I get a little signal from Kalen, which is this signal.
Is that what that means?
That means
I
like
got another podcast coming into record.
Yeah. So we got to go. And I went back and looked at that movie though, Jim. That movie it's got Brad Davis. Brad Davis. Yeah. It's it's better than I remembered it being.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, got it won Best Picture. You know.
Oh, it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots
It
of
was
Fire.
really a good film.
Yeah,
good film.
yeah.
Good film.
Great music.
Remember them running in the ocean, by the ocean. That was a
That's
scene.
what I remember. Yeah.
Kaylin, did we do anything different this time than we did last time?
I mean, the first interview that we did with you was a lot more focused on your experience
With
in
Kubrick.
and Full Metal Jacket. So, yeah, I wanted to just come in and shoot the shit on this one. So it's a little bit more just, it's whatever. It's podcast.
Yeah,
We're just hanging. But just so everyone knows, like, it was like Saturday that I called Timmy up because I was asking him some tech questions, and he said, "Oh, I'm coming into town." I said, "Great, come in. Let's record a podcast. Let's come in." So I think it's just really cool that we're doing this podcast and that we have this opportunity to do this. Like, I wouldn't have been able to see you again. And you're someone I grew up with. We always used to go play racquetball. I went to your improv classes. And
do you remember you and Timothy?
Yeah.
Remember the time that car broke down and you guys just left me? I'm the teacher driving him to class. My car broke down. They just walked away. They didn't help me push it or nothing.
I don't remember that.
I remember. You guys were great, though. That was so fun. And to watch you grow up. And not only you, but even his other boys were too when I met him. And I drove them across country. I flew them across country to see you guys at the Abyss when they were 4 years old. And the first guy I run into when we get there is James Cameron coming out in his Frogman outfit, pulls off his mask and looks at me and goes, "Timmy, I just broke the record for directing underwater. 7 hours, 32 minutes, and 22 seconds." Something like that. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but I was shocked. Yeah. And then we had fun, and it was the fun. There were 4-year-olds running. We put them in football outfits. Football outfits and then
baseball.
Remember baseball? Remember when I said, hit the ball and run to first base. He hit the ball, he ran to first base, and he just kept going. He was in right field now.
He didn't know anything about second base.
Yeah, it was fun. And actually to see you, my favorite story, I don't know if it's in the first podcast, when I first met Michael, I think it was the first week I met you, and he goes, "Come on up, I want you to meet my mom and dad. They're in town, and my boys, they're dying to meet you." And by the way, and right before I get to the door, I told my wife I've been cheating on her, and she knows you know. I walked into that room. That woman gave me this biggest stink eye, like I did. I'll never forget that.
Of course, it was your fault. I was going. I didn't.
Yeah,
It was Timmy made me do it.
And then years later,
Timmy made me do it.
Then when I got back from London, you made me go help her move. Arlene,
that was my sister.
No, it made me move her too. That was when you were too hungover, and that was a bitch. Because she had, when we got to the place, it was a long drive. There was these stairways that went for like 50 yards to move all this shit up. I go, that son of a bitch. How did he get me to do this? But Carlene actually was really cool when I moved her. She had a different personality. When she first met me, she was going, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
And you were like, "All right, I like this energy." She didn't know how to handle me.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Then, man, so I've known you through all 3 of your wives, 5 boys.
Yep.
40 years.
Yeah.
40-some years of knowing you.
50 years.
Long time.
Almost.
And, every single time we get together like this.
Yeah. Always
it's
laughing.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Nonstop stories and laughs.
Yeah. That's
forever.
True. That's true.
And I've never argued with you in my life.
No, we have never argued. Are you ever?
It was an argument.
I remember we used to argue on the racquetball
No,
court.
that's what I was going to say. One time we were on the racquetball court, and you know how you get the hinder where the guy gets in front of you?
You got to call a hinder.
I didn't know whether to call it or not, so I gave him a look, and he goes, "What? What?" I go, "I didn't say nothing." "Yeah, but you were thinking it." And I went, "Yeah, I was thinking it, but I didn't say nothing." That was our only argument. And that's not bad.
Yeah.
For 50 years.
Are you ever going to be able to get out there again with me, or are you just done?
I was thinking about maybe today after we're done.
Oh, no.
Well, that shut you up. Well, we've had last time I played with you, I knocked you in the head and you were bleeding remember big time bleeding.
Yeah.
I felt bad about that.
Wow.
That's about
that was no big
Many
deal.
times as we played, we didn't have too many injuries.
No.
Well, the one time you really messed up your calf muscle. You ripped a calf muscle.
Yeah.
You were in pain that way. I knew we weren't. Sometimes you hear ow, and then we're back to playing. But this ow was, we're done for the day.
I had to get carried out.
We had a little Mexican guy that was he was a custodian.
Janitor,
And he'd watch us play racquetball, and if there was a close call, we'd look up at the top, and he'd either go yes or no, and we believed him.
Yeah.
We believed this
He
Mexican
was the
guy.
judge.
He was the judge.
The ref, huh?
Yeah, the ref, right.
So the funny part about how this all started, I don't know if we have this in the first podcast. When I met Michael in London, I go, you look like an athlete. I bet I can beat you in racquetball. 100 pounds, I can beat you left-handed. He goes, all right, let's go. So we go down to the YMCA. We go down there, and they don't have racquetball, but they got squash. I figure beat him in squash. Squash course are already taken up. Last thing we got is badminton. Okay, let's play badminton. And remember, we played badminton, and we played sweating like pigs. And, man, you beat me. You beat me, and I remember thinking.
Beat you up like you were a fucking girl.
Yes. Okay, slow it down. So we finally
You didn't know what hit you.
I was sweating.
Okay,
I remember
I think this is a good time to end the podcast.
Wait, let's
Thank
finish
you
up.
very much
When
for
I came
coming.
back,
Thank you.
I beat him for about a year
Thank you very much for
left-handed.
coming.
And
Thank you very much
right-handed
for
for
coming.
another year.
Ready?
And now he's got me.
All right, Timmy. Thank you.
Good seeing you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Dirty